Hello, for today's video I'm going to be turning in 2,400 Iron Banner tokens, which is going to give me 120 engrams, and I'm going to try and go for a god roll. So on screen I'm going to show the list of guns that you can get from Iron Banner currently, and I'm going to show their rolls and what I want and why I want that specific roll. So first up, we have the MULTIMACH CCX, which is a submachine gun. And from going left to right, for the sight, I'm going to want, I believe it's called the Model S5, which is going to give it the most zoom, which is going to help it with range, essentially. And for magazine type, I'm going to want accurized rounds or steady rounds to either give it a lot more range or to give it a lot more stability, because I play on console, so it matters a bit more for me. Now for the next slot, I'm going to want Dynamic Fury Reduction, which in my opinion is the best perk in this slot, and it's going to help me with stability and recoil just by holding down the trigger. And for the next slot, I'm going to want Kill Clip, which is going to make it kill a lot faster. And for the Masterwork, I'm going to want either range or stability. The next weapon is Fool's Remedy. The sight doesn't matter too much to me, just whichever one boosts range or stability. But for magazine, it does matter a bit more. So we have ricochet rounds, high caliber rounds, and flared magwell. So high caliber rounds is going to help me flinch opponents more in the Crucible, so that's going to make it easier for me to land my shots, while it makes it harder for them to land their shots, while also give me a bump to range. Next, flared magwell is going to help stability and reload speed, so that's pretty good. Ricochet rounds is going to help me a lot in stability, but it's also going to give me some range, so any of those three magazine types is pretty good. Now for the perk slots, I want Moving Target because it gives me a flat bump to aim assist. I think it's about plus 10, while also helping me with my movement speed, so I get to stray faster, so it's harder to hit me. Next, the next slot, I'm going to want either Kill Clip or Eye of the Storm. Kill Clip is going to make it a lot easier for me to get the second kill once I get the first kill. And with Flared Magwell, it's going to make it reload a lot faster. Or I could get Eye of the Storm, which is going to help me get the next few kills when my health is pretty low, or it's going to help me win my 1v1s when my health gets low. For the Masterwork, I'm either going to want range or stability. The next gun is an ARC 140 hand cannon, FINITE IMPACTOR. And for sight, I'm going to want anything that boosts stability or range. And for magazine, I'm going to want high caliber rounds or ricochet, but I'm probably going to want high caliber rounds a bit more to increase how much I flinch the opponent. And ricochet rounds because again, it increases stability and range. So for the first perk, I'm going to want No Distractions because it just got buffed and how long you need to aim before it can kick in and start working. What it does is essentially, if you aim for about 0.5 seconds to 1 second, it's going to decrease how much you get flinched, and it's drastic. It's really strong. And for the next perk, I'm going to want either Iron Reach or Eye of the Storm. So what this is going to do is, Iron Reach is going to take away some of my stability, but give me a lot more range, so I get to hit targets from further away. And Eye of the Storm, again, is going to give me aim assist for when my health gets low. It also increases handling a bit too, but I really just prefer it for aim assist. And for Masterwork, I'm probably going to want range, but if I get Iron Reach, I'm probably going to want stability to even it out a little bit more. Next, the Steady Hand, a 120 hand cannon. For the sight, anything that increases range the most. And for magazine, I'm going to want ricochet rounds or high caliber rounds. But since Steady Hand is an aggressive frame hand cannon, it will flinch more than other hand cannons, so I don't know if that stacks with high caliber rounds. If it does, high caliber rounds is my best option. So for the first perk slot, I'm going to want either Outlaw or Moving Target. Moving Target, again, to give me aim assist and strafe speed, but also Outlaw because I'm not going to have that fast reload speed. So with Outlaw, it's really going to help me. And for the last perk slot, I'm going to want either Swashbuckler or Snapshot. Swashbuckler because if I get a melee kill, I get to now 2-shot, and I think with one stack, I might be able to 2-shot low resilience Guardians, But a snapshot is going to make it easier for me to get into engagements because I'm already aiming at the enemy. And for the masterwork, I'm probably going to want range masterwork to really increase the distance before I get damage drop off. The next weapon is the guiding sight, a scout rifle. And for sights, again, anything that gives it the most zoom is probably going to be the best option. But I'm probably going to use this for PvE rather than PvP. So a PvE role would be armor piercing rounds to help with anti-barrier for champions. Then for the next slot, we want surplus to help with reload speed so I could keep stunning champions. And for the next slot, I'm going to want osmosis or vorpal weapon. Vorpal weapon is going to help me do more damage against the champions, and osmosis is going to have it count as an elemental weapon when I throw a grenade. The next weapon is the time-worn SPIRE kinetic pulse rifle. So again, for sight, anything for zoom. That's really the only sights that matter. And for magazine, I'm going to want high caliber rounds or ricochet rounds, but I might want high caliber rounds more because I really need to flinch my enemies with this gun. And for the first perk, I'm going to want moving target because I want the aim assist, strafe speed, and the other perks aren't that great in my opinion. Now for the next slot, I'm going to want either rampage to give me more damage and hopefully make the time to kill a little bit faster, or just make it easier to use, or iron reach, so then I could have a lot more range and have a longer radius or a longer distance between damage drop off. And for masterwork, I'm going to want either range or stability. The next gun is forward pass, a kinetic auto rifle. So for sights, again, anything that gives it the most zoom. And for magazine perk, I'm going to want accurized rounds, steady rounds, or flared magwell. Again, accurized rounds gives the most range, steady rounds gives it the most stability, but it takes away range. Flared magwell increases the reload speed and stability, so it's pretty good. And for the first perk slot, I'm going to want dynamic sway reduction. By just holding down the trigger, I get bonus stability, I get bonus recoil, so it's pretty good. For the next perk slot, I'm going to want either tap the trigger for the initial burst of accuracy and stability when I pull the trigger, or Eye of the Storm, which will give me aim assist and handling when my health gets lower. For the masterwork, I'm going to want either range or stability again. The next gun is ARCHONS Thunder, a heavy machine gun. And for barrel, I'm going to want fluted barrel just because it gives it the most handling. It doesn't really matter too much. For magazine, I'm going to want extended mag so then I can hold as many bullets as I can. And then I'm going to want field prep for the first perk because it lets me hold more ammo and it lets me reload faster when I'm crouched. And for the last slot, there's not really any damage dealing perks besides Rampage. I really wished it had Vorpal Weapon, but Rampage will still be good. It'll help me with ad clearing. And for the masterwork, I'm probably going to want either reload speed, or I think reload speed is actually just it. Now for the last two weapons that I want most, the occluded Finality, the sniper rifle, and the RIISWALKER or RIISWALKER, however you pronounce it, lightweight shotgun. So on the occluded Finality, the barrel I'm going to want is either full bore or fluted barrel. Full bore gives it the most range at the cost of handling, but with the specific role I want, handling isn't an issue. Fluted barrel is, if I don't get the exact role, it is going to give me the most handling. So for magazine type, I'm going to want high caliber rounds. So high caliber rounds again is going to flinch, but also give an added bonus to range, which is really going to help me land my shots better. And for the next slot, I'm going to want either snapshot or no distractions, even though no distractions isn't circled. So snapshot is going to help me with my engagements to aim down sights faster, to help me get ready sooner, and no distractions is going to help me against getting flinched. It also stacks with unflinching sniper rifle mods, so it's going to be really hard to flinch me. Now for the last slot, I'm going to want either opening shot or iron reach. Iron reach is going to be really good on a sniper because the bonus range is going to help me land my shots better, and I don't really need stability. Opening shot is essentially going to do the same thing, but if I miss, it has to take about 2 seconds to reproc. And for the masterwork, depending on what barrel I have, if I have full bore, I'm probably going to want handling, and if I have fluted barrel, I'm probably going to want a ranged masterwork. Now for the RIISWALKER, I'm going to want full choke or rifled barrel. Rifled barrel also isn't circled, but that's because full choke is my first option of what I want most. Full choke, it tightens the spread, so it makes it easier for all the pellets to hit. Rifled barrel just gives you bonus range, but it does take away some of the handling, which could be an issue. For magazine type, I want either assault mag or accurized rounds. Assault mag is actually kind of unique on a lightweight shotgun in that it will actually improve how fast you shoot by 10 rounds per minute, while every other shotgun, it only improves it by 5. And if I don't get assault mag, accurized rounds will be just as good, but accurized rounds increases range the most. Now for the first perk slot, I'm going to want quick draw, maybe surplus, but quick draw might be better because it doesn't matter about how charged my abilities are. For the next slot, I'm going to want Iron Reach, or maybe Vorpal Weapon, even though it isn't circled. Vorpal Weapon will help me kill supers faster, but Iron Reach will help me get the one-shot kill at larger ranges. And for Masterwork, I'm probably going to want a range Masterwork. I could choose handling, but I think range is going to be most important. Alright, so looking at the rolls I got, on me right now, we have the MULTIMACH CCX with Iron Reach and Quick Draw.
Isn't just a title, it's a promise.
It's pretty good, like it has pretty good range, has pretty good handling. Not exactly what I want, but still, it's pretty alright, so I'm still going to keep it. We also have the Time Worn SPIRE with Feeding Frenzy and Rampage. I'd prefer to have Ricochet rounds, but yeah, still pretty good. I don't know if Rampage will change the time to kill, but it might make it easier by changing a one headshot to a body shot. So I decided to keep it. It's gonna be pretty alright. Then I have the Occluded Finality. It's just gonna have crazy handling. That's why I really like the sniper. It also has really good range with the range masterwork, so it's gonna be pretty good. Again, I don't think it's exactly what I wanted, but it's still pretty good. FINITE IMPACTOR. I think I only kept this roll because it had no distractions. One for all is pretty bad for PvP. I think it's gonna be really hard to pull it off, but no distractions should help me with 1v1s. I also got an Archon's Thunder. This one's more for PvE because it's a heavy. I'm not gonna be able to use it that well or that much in PvP. But it has Rampage and Field Prep. Field Prep so I could hold on to more ammo and reload faster. I'd prefer to have a magazine like extended mag, so it could really bump up the magazine. But still, it's pretty good. Alright, and for armor, I have 2 helmets. That's a decent amount of discipline, and I don't really like having that much resilience, but I'm just keeping this one for the discipline alone. And the next one has really good recovery and discipline. I'd like to have more intellect, but still, that's really good. Alright, now we got gauntlets. This one's pretty good overall. It's lacking in strength, but it's really good everywhere else. And the next one, it just has higher recovery and higher intellect. That's typically how I like my armor to be, so I can have higher stats in those areas. And for chest piece, we have, this one was just average. It's not that great, but it's decent. The next one is more spread out, but I don't think I'm gonna keep that one. Okay, next we got boots. Again, this one's pretty spread out, especially in resilience, recovery, and discipline. It's pretty alright. Again, I'd prefer to have more intellect. but it's okay.
Please, Guardian.
And the next one is, again, how I like it, with higher recovery and higher intellect. And I already dismantled all the cloaks. Okay. And then the Postmaster, I have a decent amount of weapons in here. Okay, MULTIMACH CCX has dynamic sway reduction and iron grip. I'd prefer to have a kill clip right here, but this is really good stability, so I'm still going to keep it. Steady hand, quick draw, swashbuckler, ricochet rounds. This one's pretty good. Whichever sight could give more range would probably be better. But yeah, this is a pretty alright roll, especially with swashbuckler, which is going to allow it to two-shot. Alright, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, RIISWALKER? I'd prefer to have range masterwork, and Assault Mag is like the second best mag to have right before accurized rounds. Assault Mag on lightweight shotguns gives you 10 rounds per minute, like you shoot 10 rounds per minute faster, while every other shotgun it only improves it by 5, so it's a lot better on a lightweight shotgun. Iron Reach is gonna just really increase the range at the cost of stability, so it doesn't really matter if you have it on a shotgun. Surplus, I'd prefer to have quick draw or maybe something else, but this is like a pseudo or like nerfed quick draw, so it's still okay. It also kind of acts like a snapshot too, so again, pretty good. Steady hand, and we have Outlaw Swashbuckler. Outlaw's pretty good because I really don't like the reload speed of 120s. And Swashbuckler again, just your damage. The Time Worn SPIRE, this one's really good because I can switch between ricochet rounds and high caliber rounds. High caliber rounds is gonna help like flinch the opponent, so then it's gonna help me get the kill. Ricochet rounds is just for a bump in stability, so either one is pretty good. Alright, MULTIMACH CCX. Yeah, this one's gonna have really good stability just because of dynamic sway reduction, which is also gonna help with the recoil. Flare to Magwell is gonna help with stability just a little bit, but I think I'm gonna keep accurized rounds. And then Iron Reach. So both of these perks are gonna be increasing the stability and recoil, and then it's also gonna be increasing the range. So it's gonna be pretty good. And also, that's pretty good handling and range already. Next we have the OCCLUDED Finality. This one is just for these two perks. I find them really fun. Like, I think it's gonna be pretty fun to play with. It's kind of funny. So Surplus, the more abilities I have charged, it's gonna improve handling, stability, and reload speed. While Elemental Capacitor, with any super I have, is gonna improve that stat. So I'm just gonna have really good stability, handling, reload speed, and one of those stats is gonna be even better. So if I go Arc, I pretty much have Snapshot and Quick Draw on this gun. If I go Solar, I pretty much have Outlaw, but I don't even need to get a kill to activate it. If I go Void, I guess I just have really good stability, but that's not really what I want to use it for. And again, it also has really good range. Alright, next you got some boots. They're pretty okay. They're pretty, again, it's like higher in recovery and intellect, which is good, but I prefer to have it 20-20 or closer to 20. Next we have Finite Impactor. So Eye of the Storm is going to be improving the accuracy and handling. So when I'm in a gunfight and I'm losing health, this one's going to activate and help me. If I get the kill, heating up is going to help me get the next kill. I prefer again to have like high caliber rounds, ricochet rounds, anything like that. But Light Mag is still pretty good because it also increases reload speed. And with the range masterwork. Alright, and last, this helmet that also has pretty high discipline. So I'm still gonna keep that one.
All done.
Well, yeah. Alright, so now I got this little table chart pulled up on how many times I pulled each piece of gear and how many pieces I actually kept. So for example, 11% or about 11% of my total pulls were from the steady hand. I pulled 13 out of 120, but I only really kept 2. And guns like the forward path, I pulled 9, but I didn't even keep any of them. They weren't really that good rolls. But on the other end, I barely pulled any Fool's Remedies or the Cloaks, which in my opinion is a good thing. I don't really like the Fool's Remedy or the Cloak, but this is just to put into kind of perspective a little bit. With all these pulls, Fool's Remedy and the Cloak was the least I've gotten, and the steady hand, 120 hand cannon, which is currently good, is the most I've pulled from 120 engrams. Alright, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're not.